A very good afternoon to everybody. Now I request Dr. D. Murthy, Assistant Professor of Botany, to welcome the gathering and to introduce the resource person of this session, Dr. K. Soundararajan.
Hello. Hello.
Yes, sir. Okay, sir, you are audible,
Sir,
sir.
is it audible?
Yes,
Okay, sir.
sir.
Thank you.
Yes, sir, you are audible.
Okay. Honorable Secretary and Director, Madam, respected Principal, respected Dean R&D, Dean Academics, my dear teachers and students, a happy good afternoon to all. It's a moment of great privilege and honor for me to extend a hearty welcome you all to the webinar series on Vistas in the field of research and innovations organized by Konganad Arts and Science College, Coimbatore. It's my pleasure to extend a cordial welcome to our Honorable respected Secretary and Director, Dr. C.A. Vasagi Madam, Konganad Arts and Science College, to this wonderful occasion. It is present duty to welcome our beloved, respected Principal, Dr. M. Lakshmaswamy Sir, most respected Dr. S. Balasamy Sir, Dean and R&D, and respected Dr. S.R. Madan Sangar Sir, Dean Academics, Konganad Arts and Science College, for this occasion. It's my pleasure to extend a cheerful welcome to our today's resource person, Dr. K. Soundarajan, Assistant Professor of Botany, Konganad Arts and Science College. I extend my carnival welcome to convener of this webinar series, Dr. D. Vijayalakshmi, Assistant Professor of Mathematics, and Coordinator, Dr. M. Vikneswaran, Assistant Professor of Maths, for this gathering. I would like to extend my warmful welcome to the organizing secretaries, Dr. M. Revati Bala, Associate Professor and Head, Department of Commerce PG, and Dr. M. Sendil Kumar, Associate Professor of Computer Science, for this occasion. I extend my hearty welcome to the faculty members, students of our college, and also from other colleges for this learning occasion. It is my great honor and privilege to introduce today's resource person, Dr. Soundarajan, Assistant Professor of Botany, Konganad Arts and Science College, Coimbatore. He completed his PG and PhD degree in Bardhajar University. He have very much research in the field of microbiology, plant pathology, phytomedicine, and functional food. SAR has very excellent 7 years of postdoctoral experiences. He worked in 4 years in Kangwon National University, South Korea, 1 year in University of Putra, Malaysia, Daegu University, South Korea, and Prince of Sangla University, Thailand. She has published 62 research articles in various reputed journals and also booked 2 book chapters. He attended 15 international and 16 national conferences. He has 915 citations, 17 H index in Google Scholar, and 569 citation, 14 H index in Scopus. Recently, he visited Weed Research Laboratories, College of Life Sciences, Nanjing Agriculture University, China. I hope we are all get more informative message through his lecture about influence of fragrances on human electroencephalography activity. Now, I hand over the session to Dr. K. Soundarajan, sir. Thank you all.
Thank you very much, sir, for your nice welcome speech.
Hello. Hello, sir. Am I audible? Hello. Hello, sir. Hello.
Hello.
Hello, sir. Am I audible?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You are very.
Yes, sir. Audible, sir.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. You can proceed.
Audible, sir. Audible.
Yeah, very good afternoon to everyone. First, I would like to express my sincere thanks to esteemed President Dr. M. Arusamy, sir, most respected Secretary and Director Dr. C.A. Vasagi Madam, and respected Principal Dr. M. Lakshmaswamy, sir, for and the organizing committee of this webinar series for giving a great opportunity to share my knowledge with you. My presentation is about influence of fragrances on human electroencephalographic activity. Do you have any idea if you inhale any odor, that means aroma, scent, fragrance, whatever, what will happen? So do you have any idea? It's all about olfaction. So what is olfaction? Olfaction is sense of smell and is strongly associated with memories. Olfaction plays an important role in the pathophysiology of various brain disorders. Then what about odor? Odor is the sensation resulting from the stimulation of olfactory organs. The olfactory system plays a key role in the lives of humans and animals. It can detect thousands of different odor molecules through a large family of olfactory receptors of a diverse protein sequence which are located in the olfactory epithelium of human nose. In addition, accumulating evidence confirms the olfactory dysfunction in various brain disease, much of which appears at early stages, including multiple sclerosis, Alzheimer's disease, Parkinson's disease, schizophrenia, and depression. Now coming to olfactory dysfunction, the smell is one of the oldest senses in the evolution. The smell play a key role in the development, relationship, pleasure, health, safety, and survival. The decreased olfactory function occurs with aging. Over half of those between the ages of 65 to 80 are experiencing the olfactory dysfunction problem. Further, the inability to identify smells predates the clinical symptoms of various neurodegenerative and neuropsychiatric diseases. Let's see about odor molecules. What are odor molecules? Odor molecules are derived from the food or the environment that signals the presence of food, fire, or predators. There is no single dimension that relates stimulus to sensation, and the odorants have no obvious connections with each other. In general, the odor molecules are limited to the molecular weight of less than 300. Within that range, there are an essentially infinite number of odor molecules. Further, the odorants have no obvious specific molecular feature. Actually, the odor is a holistic experience. For example, complex mixes that coffee have a single percept, as do single odorant molecules. Humans are relatively poor at discriminating the components of mixers, so humans cannot distinguish more than 3 or 4 separate components at the same time. Further, most of the odorants, their identification does not change with concentration. So have trouble smelling one type of chemical is known as specific anosmia. If you cannot smell at all is known as anosmia. Among the various aromatic components, the essential oils are one of the important sources for the manufacture of various perfumery products. So what are essential oils? Essential oils are natural, volatile, complex mixes, mainly composed of terpenes and their oxygenative derivatives. The picture shows the steam distillation extraction unit to isolate the essential oils from plant pods. Further, the essential oils have been used in the aromatherapy treatment for thousands of years, especially for psychological and physiological well-being of humans through fragrance inhalation. So the inhalation of essential oils can influence memory, thoughts, and emotions. Previous studies reported that the essential oils of lavender, peppermint, and rosemary clariceps significantly reduce the anxiety and stress states of the brain function and also enhance the cognitive functions. So you all know very well about the aromatherapy treatment. The aromatherapy treatment is therapeutic use of essential oils isolated from plants. The essential oils can be absorbed into the body via skin or the olfactory system. The aromatherapy in the usage of essential oils for the management of chronic pain, depression, anxiety, some cognitive disorders, insomnia, and stress-related disorders. Further, the aromatherapy appears to be without the adverse effect of many conventional psychotropic drugs. Let's see about olfactory cells. So the neurons that extend from the cell body to the nasal passage are known as olfactory cells. Simply, the neurons responsible for smell are known as olfactory cells. It has a cilia a thread-like dendrite that lead to the chemical activities to action potential. It is a source of wonder that 1/30th of genome is devoted for detecting odors. Out of 30,000 genes in the mouse genome, more than 1,000 are for olfactory receptors. In human, more than 900 olfactory receptor genes, but 63% are interrupted with sequences so-called pseudogenes. However, humans have about 300 active olfactory receptor genes. In addition, humans are less dependent on smell when compared with other mammals. Now coming to olfactory process. First, the odor molecules in the air attach with the cilia of the olfactory receptor cells, and the olfactory receptor cells are activated and send the electrical signals to the olfactory bulb through the olfactory sensory neurons. In the olfactory bulb, the signals are enter into the specialized structure glomeruli, then snaps with mitral cells, tufted cells. Finally, the signals are transmitted to the higher olfactory regions through olfactory tract. And this is the closer look of olfactory system. Here you can see three important parts: olfactory bulb, olfactory epithelium, and the mucus. The olfactory bulb, there are mitral cells, tufted cells, and glomeruli. In between the olfactory bulb and the olfactory epithelium, there is a cribriform plate that separates the two parts. In the olfactory epithelium, in addition to olfactory receptor cells, basal cell and supporting cells also there. In the mucus, you can see the cilia. The water molecules attach with the cilia of the olfactory receptor cells for the further process. This picture illustrates the internal structure of the human nose. There are three turbinates. They are superior, middle, and inferior. The light blue color shows the olfactory mucosa. Above that, you can see the olfactory bulbs. And this is the schematic representation of olfactory process. First, the fragrance molecules attach with the cilia of the olfactory receptor cells in the olfactory epithelium, then activate the G protein coupled receptors, and they transfer the chemical signals into the electrical signals, and the electrical signals to reach the olfactory bulb and enter into the specialist structures glomerulus, mitral cells, and tufted cells. Through olfactory bulb, the signals are further transmitted into the higher olfactory regions. The olfactory higher cortex contains the piriform cortex, amygdala, periamygdaloid cortex, and entorhinal cortex, and also hippocampus. Let's see about the molecular mechanism of olfactory process. This picture shows the olfactory epithelium and with major cell types and mucus secreting Bowman's gland. The inserts show the receptor protein with 7 transmembrane domains located on a cilium of the receptor cell. This is the schematic representation of olfactory signal transduction pathway in the olfactory sensory neurons of cilia. This process involved 2 different G protein coupled transduction mechanisms. One activating adenyl cyclase to generate cyclic adenosine monophosphate, another one activating the phospholipase C to generate inositol triphosphate. These messengers open channels admitting calcium, sodium, and chlorine ions into the cell, leading to depolarization of the membrane and an action potential that travels the length of cell's axon to the olfactory bulb of the forebrain. And this is the higher olfactory regions. The higher olfactory region, the important parts are hippocampus, thalamus, and frontal cortex. They are collectively called as limbic system. The limbic system is a set of structure, includes the hypothalamus, amygdala, hippocampus, mainly responsible for emotions and memory. The hypothalamus is mainly associated with homeostasis. The amygdala is related to emotions. In the case of hippocampus, is mainly connected with memory conversion. So it is well known that fragrances affect spontaneous brainwave activities and cognitive functions. Normal brain function involves continuous electrical activity. The patterns of neural electrical activity recorded are called brain waves. Brain waves change with age, sensory stimuli, brain disease, and chemical state of the body. An electroencephalograph records this activity. The EEG can be used to localize and diagnose brain lesions, tumors, infections, and abscesses. Actually, a flat EEG is a clinical evidence of death. The brain waves can be categorized into two major groups, slow waves and fast waves. Delta and theta are coming under slow waves. Alpha, beta, and gamma are coming under fast waves. The wavelength of delta is 0 to 4 Hz. The wavelength range of theta is 4 to 8 Hz. For alpha, 8 to 13 Hz. For beta, 13 to 30 Hz. The wavelength of gamma is 30 to 50 Hz. Let's see about the different brain waves and their functions. Delta waves mainly occur during the non-rapid eye movement sleep, that is dreamless sleep. Theta wave is highly associated with drowsiness, daydreaming, creative, imaginative thinking, and short-term memory process. Alpha wave is highly linked with the cognitive performance, mental coordination, calmness, alertness, integration, and learning. Next one is beta. Beta wave mainly occurs during the alertness, engaged in problem solving, decision making, and focused mental activity. Gamma wave is highly associated with working memory matching, expanded consciousness, spiritual emergence, and during hypnotic states. Apart from slow waves and fast waves, there are less common waves. They are kappa waves, lambda waves, and mu waves. The kappa waves mainly occur in 30% of subjects while thinking. Next, we'll see about the brain regions. The human brain has four important regions. They are frontal lobe, temporal lobe, occipital lobe, and parietal lobe. Lobes are regions. Now let's see the functions of different brain regions. The primary functions of frontal lobe are memory formation, emotions, decision making, reasoning, and personality. For parietal lobe, senses and integrate sensation, spatial awareness, and perception. In the case of temporal lobe, hearing, organization, comprehension of language, information retrieval, that is memory and memory formation. The occipital lobe play a major role in processing, integration, interpretation of vision, and visual stimuli. So here you can understand that occipital lobe is highly linked with the vision, temporal lobe is highly associated with hearing, and the frontal lobe is highly linked with memory formation. Now coming to electroencephalography, let's see brief history of electroencephalography. In 1875, Richard Caton discovered the electric currents of the brain. Subsequently, Hans Berger in 1929 discovered the EEG based on the difference in voltage between two different cerebral locations plotted over time. EEG differs between sleep and waking. Hans Berger also described the human alpha and beta rhythms. Actually, EEG examines the electrical potential generated from the synchronized firings of neurons in terms of scalp electrodes. So EEG recordings are non-invasive, painless, do not interfere with human subjects' ability to move or perceive stimuli, and relatively low cost. The electrodes measures the voltage differences in terms of microvolt range. The electrodes detect brain waves, and EEG amplifies the signals and records them in a wave pattern on a computer screen. The EEG can be used in various fields such as psychological, neurological, educational, and therapeutic. Let's see the mechanism of EEG. The brain electrical activity starts at 17 to 23 weeks of prenatal development. At birth, the total number of already developed neurons roughly 100 billions. The neurons are mutually connected into neural networks through synapses. A synapse is a structure permits a neuron to pass an electrical or chemical signal to another neuron. In general, adults have about 100 to 500 trillion synapses. The mechanism, when brain cells are activated, the local current flows. The EEG measures the current that flows during the synaptic excitation of the dendrites of many pyramidal neurons in the cerebral cortex. The differences of electrical potential are caused by some postsynaptic graded potential from pyramidal cells. Brain electrical activity mostly consists of sodium, calcium, and chlorine ions. Between electrode and neuron layers, current penetrates through skin, skull, and other parts. These pictures illustrate the individual EEG electrodes and the electrode cap. The EEG electrodes are small metal discs, mainly made up of stainless steel, tin, gold, or silver covered with a silver chloride coating. Nowadays, many recording systems use a cap into which electrodes are embedded. After fitting the electrode cap on the scalp, the electrode gel is injected into each cavity. So this electrode gel acts as a malleable extension of the electrode. The movement of the electrode's cables is less likely to produce artifacts. So the electrode gel maximizes the skin contact and allows for a low resistant recording through the skin. And this is the small R&D EEG with 8-channel electrodes. This picture shows the 8-channel electrode sequencer and the electrode cap. Here you can see the 8-channel electrode positions on the scalp. And this is the 32-channel electrode sequencers and the electrode cap. And these pictures shows the locations of 32-channel electrodes on the scalp. The electrodes are placed on the scalp according to the International 1020 system, that is based on the 10 to 20% distance between the each electrode locations or sites. There are 8 major electrode positions. They are prefrontal, frontal, temporal, parietal, both left and right side of the brain. The even number denotes the right side of the brain and the odd number denotes the left side of the brain. Further, the EEG power spectra have various wave morphology. They are regular, sinusoidal, spindles, irregular, complexes, spikes, sharp waves, polyspikes, etc. For example, alpha and beta wave possess spindle type of wave morphology. I hope you all understand something about olfaction, odor, brain waves, brain regions, and the uses of EEG. Then let's see about how to study the effect of inhalation of fragrances on EEG activity and some of the examples from other studies and also from our studies. First, the fragrance administration. The essential oils or any fragrant components can be used as the fragrance stimuli. So the fragrance stimulus is dissolved in the odorless solvent like dipropyl glycol or any others. Only healthy participants are used in this study. The subjects are asked to sit quietly, close their eyes, and to breathe normally during the EEG measurement. The stimulus is placed 3 centimeters in front of the subject's nose. The EEG is recorded for before and during the inhalation of particular fragrance. And this is the experimental procedure of EEG measurement. First, this water stimulus is placed inside the sample chamber and the odorless fresh air is pumped into the water chamber at the flow rate of 3 liters per minute. The air outflow chamber is placed 5 centimeters in front of the subject's nose. The total system is controlled by the Arduino microprocessor connected with the personal computer. Here you can see the after the EEG, after fitting the EEG cap, then the sequence like injecting the electrode gel into each cavity and connected to the electrode cap to the sequencer. After the setup, then you switch on the amplifier. After everything is okay, then you open the software and record the EEG readings. Now coming to data analysis. The mean power values, that is microvolt squared, are calculated for 25 EEG indicators. The T mapping of the brain waves is constructed by using the Telescan software package. The SPSS software package is used for statistical analysis. The EEG postpartum changes before and during the exposure of fragrance can be analyzed using the paired student t-test. The p-value less than 0.05 is considered significant. Here you can see the raw data recording, and after recording you can analyze the EEG data. This table shows the names of 25 EEG indicators and their wavelength ranges. The analysis indicators such as absolute waves. They are theta, alpha, beta, gamma, fast alpha, slow alpha, low beta, mid beta, and high beta, and their relative power spectra, ratios, and spectral edge frequencies. And this is the model of data presentation. This table shows the data of absolute theta power spectrum changes. After the recording, then you can get the raw data and analyzed using the statistical softwares like SPSS. Then you will get the t-test value and p-values. Based on the p-value, you can understand the values are significant or non-significant, and you can present the data like before inhalation or during inhalation for each brain regions. Based on the EEG power spectra values, you can construct the topographic mapping, that is T mapping of the brain. Here you can see the T mapping in the brain before and during the inhalation of the particular fragrance. The color changes denote the EEG power spectra changes at the particular brain region. This table shows the some of the important essential oil bearing plants and their major components. There are many essential bearing plants. Here I listed only some of the examples like bergamot, caraway, chamomile, cinnamon, corn mint, eucalyptus, geranium, jasmine, juniper, lavender, lemon, lemongrass, oregano, rose, rosemary, sandalwood, sweet basil, thyme, ylang ylang, and their botanical names. The major components in these essential oils are limonene, linalool, carvone, cinnamaldehyde, myrcene, cymene, thymol, citronellol, and terpinene, alpha-pinene, beta-pinene, and etc. Here you can see some of the important essential bearing plants. Apart from various angiosperm plants like Lamiaceae and other family members, there are many gymnosperms like Abies, Juniperus, and Pinus species also there. Previously, a number of studies reported that the effect of inhalation of fragrances on EEG activity with psychophysiological changes. Let's see some of the examples from previous study. During the inhalation of lavender, chamomile, sandalwood, and eugenol, alpha-1 activity increased at parietal and posterior temporal regions. These EEG activity changes may enhance the comportment state of the brain. In another study, also used the lavender and rosemary. During the inhalation of lavender and rosemary, increased the left relate frontal EEG asymmetry. These changes may associate with the infants of depressed and non-depressed mothers respond differently to odors. In the case of neroli and grapefruit oils, the inhalation increased the slow alpha and theta activities in the occipital region. This may promote the relaxation state of the brain. And next one is the Abies sibirica essential oil. This essential oil increased the theta activity after the visible display terminal task. These changes may prevent the mental health disturbance. Another study also used the lavender oil. During the inhalation of lavender oil, theta and alpha activities increased. These theta and alpha activities changes may enhance the relaxation state of the brain. Next one is jasmine oil. Theta wave increased in the anterior center and left posterior regions due to the exposure of jasmine oil. These changes may increase the feeling of well-being, active, and fresh. For bergamot, significant differences in the relative fast and slow alpha were observed. The EEG changes may enhance the more stable and relaxation state. Next, magnolia cobus flower. during the inhalation of Magnolia corpus flower increase the absolute beta at left parietal region. These changes may increase the awaken and concentration state of the brain. And the jujubas seed oil also increase the fast alpha in the prefrontal and frontal regions. These are highly associated with the relaxation state. And the last one is essential oil of mentha arvensis aerial pods. This during the inhalation of mentha arvensis essential oil, relative fast alpha activity increased. These EEG changes may reduce the mental stress. Now let's see some of the examples from our study. This study is about the effect of inhalation of structural isomers, limonene and terpinolene on the EEG activity. During the inhalation of limonene and terpinolene exhibited different EEG activity. This may be due to the dissimilarity in their sensitivity of olfactory organs. The results revealed that the EEG changes mainly depend on structural arrangement and the odor characteristics and not depend on the molecular formula. Another study also used the structural isomers alpha-pinene and beta-pinene on the EEG activity according to gender variation. Alpha-pinene and beta-pinene are important essential oil components in various aromatic plants. In women, absolute alpha, absolute beta, and absolute high beta significantly increased due to the exposure of alpha-pinene, whereas beta-pinene increased the absolute fast alpha and absolute high beta wave activity. In the case of men, alpha-pinene markedly reduce the absolute theta, absolute beta, and absolute low beta and absolute mid beta activity. However, there is no significant changes in the absolute waves due to the exposure of beta-pinene. So the results revealed that the inhalation of alpha-pinene and beta-pinene produce positive psychological and physiological changes in women by enhancing the relaxation and alertness states of the brain. Next one, we use the black pepper essential oil on the EEG activity according to gender. The major components in the black pepper essential oils are caryophyllene, 3-carine, limonene, alpha-pinene, and beta-pinene. And this is GCMS chromatogram of the black pepper essential oil. The results indicated that women and men are differently produced the EEG activity during the inhalation of black pepper essential oil. These arrows show the significant changes in the regions due to the essential oil inhalation of black pepper. Further, men are highly sensitive to black pepper essential oil when compared with women. A number of studies reported that nostrils play a major role in the EEG activity. So the study was conducted to investigate the binasal and uninasal inhalation of Abies coreana twist essential oil and the EEG activity. So the results reported that the binasal and uninasal inhalation produce different EEG activity. You can see the results. The binasal inhalation changed the absolute alpha activity. In the case of left nostril inhalation, produce changes in absolute theta and absolute beta activity, and the right nostril inhalation produce changes in the absolute theta wave activity. So the nostrils play a major role in the EEG activity of any fragrant molecules because due to a small swelling between each nostril. Next one is Angelica gigas root essential oil according to gender. The results also same reveal that the Angelica gigas root essential oil produce different EEG activity according to gender. In both gender, this essential oil produce effect at absolute low beta, relative low beta, and ratio SMR to theta. In the case of men, the relative low beta value changed. In women, absolute low beta value differed. And this is the comparative study between the essential oil and the supercritical fluid extract from the Angelica gigas root essential oil. The essential oil and the supercritical fluid extracts showed different EEG activity according to gender. Due to the exposure of essential oil from Angelica gigas root, increase the absolute low beta activity. So these changes may enhance the alertness state of the brain. However, there is no significant changes in the absolute wave due to the exposure of supercritical fluid extract from the Angelica gigas root. And next interesting study, that is earthy odorants, geosmin and 2-methyl isoborneol. These two components possess same smell characteristics responsible for smell of the soil. So these two components produce significantly different EEG activity, and also they produce different EEG activity according to gender. So this the T mapping of the brain clearly shows the where the brain activity occurred, especially CP6 region. So the volatile organic components are widely used for the manufacture of different kinds of products in addition to research purpose. So the volatile organic components play a major role in the air quality of indoor and outdoor by a pleasant or unpleasant inhalations. So the study was conducted to investigate the volatile organic components with different functional groups and the EEG activity. So the results revealed that the chemicals with different functional groups produce different EEG activity. Although acetaldehyde, acetone, acetonitrile produced changes in almost similar EEG indices, they exhibited different EEG activity in different brain regions. So these variations may be due to the structural arrangement of the chemicals, odor characteristics, and the sensitivity of the olfactory receptors. Further, at 10% of concentration, men highly responded well to all the odors except acetic acid odor. So a number of studies report that women are superior in easily identifying and also change their behavior accordingly when compared with men. It was observed that the gender variation highly influenced on the EEG activity of resting stimulus and non-stimulus conditions. There are many evidences for the why women are superior than men, but there is no exact evidence. However, here I listed some of the examples. So women possess a better sense of smell in many species. The increased sensitivity may be of biological means. In the olfactory bulb, the total neuronal and non-neuronal cells were higher in women when compared with men based on the post-mortem report. In another study, the cerebral latticeation develops sooner in women than men. A large neural fiber tract, that is corpus callosum, connecting the two hemispheres of the brain is larger in women than men. This corpus callosum allows more free flow of communication, thus more synapses are generated. Let's see the summary of these studies. The influence of fragrances such as perfumes and room freshness on the psychophysiological activities of humans has known for a long time, and its significance is gradually increasing in the medicinal and aromatic industries. A fragrance consists of volatile chemicals, mainly they limited to the molecular weight of less than 300 that humans perceive through the olfactory system. In human, there are 300 active olfactory receptor genes are devoted for detecting thousands of different odor molecules through the olfactory receptors of a diverse protein sequence. The sense of smell plays an important role in the psychological effects of mood, stress, and the working capacity. So electrophysiological studies have revealed that various fragrances affect spontaneous brainwave activities and cognitive functions, which are measured by an electroencephalograph. The EEG is a good temporal measure, and in the central nervous system, it provides the information about physiological state of the brain, both in health and disease. The EEG spot spectrum can be categorized into delta, theta, alpha, beta, and gamma and each band is correlated with different features of the brain states. So a quantitative EEG uses computer software to provide T mapping, that is topographic mapping of the brainwave activity in frontal, temporal, parietal, and occipital brain regions. It is well known that decreases of alpha and beta wave activities and increases of delta and theta wave activities are associated with brain pathology and general cognitive decline. So the studies have suggested a significant role for the olfactory stimulation in the alteration of cognition, mood, social behavior. Now coming to conclusion, the olfactory system serves many purposes in central nervous system, including prominent interactions with the immune system. Since the olfactory dysfunction in various brain diseases, the olfaction may serve as a predictor of various illness manifestations. In addition, gender and nostril play a major role in the EEG activity. The olfactory stimulation of different fragrances can lead to positive effects in the mitigation of stress, skin immunoreactions, and depressions. Also, enhance the cognitive functions, that is, memory and attention. I hope you all understand something about how odor inhalation affects brainwave activities and psychophysiological functions. Sometimes you feel good, sometimes you feel very headache, and sometimes you feel fresh and active. These all due to the changes in the brainwave activities. Hence, the inhalation of pleasant fragrances can stimulate the brainwave activity and to produce positive psychophysiological functions. All the EEG studies have been conducted in collaboration with Kangwon National University, Chuncheon, Republic of Korea. These are some of our publications related to EEG activity of different fragrant molecules. Thank you so much for your kind attention.
ठीक रहा है और వాడు ముడుస్తాడు క్వశ్చన్ పెట్టుకమ్మా The participants can raise their questions or queries in the chat box. Sir, first question.
Yes, sir.
Doctors at Israel advise the pregnancy woman not to use any fragrance because it affects the neuronal development of the facts. May I know
sir.
what is the what
Okay,
is the effect of fragrance on the neuronal development of the facts?
So this maybe is possible because the fragrance during the inhalation affect the brainwave activities. So this, if change the brainwave activity, that also affect the development of the fetal also. So it's possible, sir.
Okay, sir. Any more questions? Sometimes the fragrance smell creates headache and vomiting
Okay.
sensation. Can you
Yes.
explain, sir?
So that's why same. If you increase the alpha wave activity and the beta wave activity, then you feel good. The particular fragrance, they decrease the alpha wave activity, then you feel headache and drowsiness, and also always feel sleepy like that. And also decrease the beta wave activity, the same things. You cannot understand any class, and also difficult to concentrate on the particular work. These all the decrease of the alpha or beta activity due to the exposure of particular fragrance.
Okay, sir. Do they have any other medicinal uses other than psychological balance?
So is mainly used for the aromatherapy treatment. We can use the fragrance only. The aromatherapy is the therapeutic use of concentrated essential oils. You can use for the massage for the pain relief and other purpose, and also for the cough and cold. You can use it for different purposes.
Okay, sir. Next question. Whether the fragrance cause any disorders in human?
Yes, it's possible. Depends on the fragrance. So that's why you can understand which is pleasant smell and unpleasant smell. So we can differentiate the different smells, and you choose the best fragrance.
Okay. Any questions? Okay, sir. No questions in the chat box. Thank
Okay.
you, sir, for your excellent presentation.
Thank you.
Now I request Dr. P. Revati, Assistant Professor of Botany, to propose the vote of thanks. Madam, please.
Hello,
Yes, madam.
sir.
You are
Am I
audible.
audible?
Yes, madam. Yes, madam. You can proceed.
Respected Secretary, Madam, Principal, Sir, and all other higher officials, and the organizing team of the wonderful program, and participants from various institutions. Good afternoon to everyone. I'm Dr. P. Revati, Assistant Professor of Botany, Kongnod Arts and Science College. It is my great privilege to be here and connect with you all to express the deep sense of gratitude for the present session. First of all, I like to thank our Honorable President, Dr. Arichami sir, for his heartfelt blessings, and the Secretary and Director of our college, Dr. C.A. Vasuki Madam, for rendering encouragement to do such useful programs in this COVID-19 period. I extend my gratitude to Dr. M. Lakshmanaswamy sir, Principal of Kongnod Arts and Science College, for his constant support, and I wish to express my sincere thanks to Dr. S. Palsamy sir, Dean R&D, Kongnod Arts and Science College, for his encouragement and support. On behalf of all the participants and myself, I would like to acknowledge and submit the gratitude to the convener of the program, Dr. Vijay Lakshmi ma'am, the coordinator, Dr. Vigneswaran sir, and the organizing secretaries, Dr. M. Revati Bala ma'am and Sendil Kumar sir, Kongnod Arts and Science College, for giving the pool of knowledge through this webinar series in successful manner. Happy life is must be by the healthy mind and healthy body. Absence of either one is not giving the fulfillment. The fragrance, that is, the pleasant smell, provide us a positive mindset and feel of well-being. That's why maybe the fragrance in the form of flowers and incense sticks are using in the temples and all other ceremonies traditionally and also in our day-to-day life. I must mention a deep sense of appreciation and gratitude for our resource person, Dr. K. Soundararajan sir, for his interesting talk on influence of fragrance on human electroencephalographic activity. Nice presentation, sir. We enjoyed well the session and we are grateful to you. And today you are stimulates our enthusiasm and enrich our knowledge on fragrance and brain activity, therapeutic role of fragrance, that is aromatherapy, and many more. And thank you so much, Soundar sir, for your valuable information. And I would like to thank all the participants for their active involvement in the session. Hope the session is very informative and useful to you. Thank you for being with us today. I once again thank the organizing team of Kongnod Arts and Science College, the resource person and participants. Then I feel very proud to be a part of this great occasion and I thank for giving me the opportunity. Thank you all.
Thank you, madam. The participants are requested to join us by 9:45 a.m. on Monday, Monday, we will have 2 sessions. The first session on web usage mining, an overview by Dr. R. Uma Gandhi, Associate Professor and Head, Department of Computer Technology. And the second session on the perspectives in material modification by Dr. P. Madheswaran, Assistant Professor of Physics. Thank you for your participation. Have a nice weekend.